Hello everybody and welcome back. This is episode 5 of my Tyranid overview slash unit analysis, whatever, of the new Tyranid book. It has been out for about 4 days, and in the last episode we covered the elites, and this video we're going to be covering the fast attack. And with that in mind, we got some flyers, yeah, I've got a Harpy, which I like. On the top, he's normally got like 3 fins. I only put 1. I have the little Hive Corona inserts because the model, here, hang on. The model has these, the spore chimneys on the sides and just the flat or the peaked ones on the back. So I liked the fin in the middle. So yeah, but I gave him the Venom cannons. I like them better. Huge models. I mean, look at this thing. This thing's enormous. And then with the Hive Crown, who doesn't have any, hang on. Hard to hold both of these. He didn't have any gun on his bottom. He just has venom sacs and big scythe, big scorpion tail, flamer in the mouth, and he's got spore chimneys on top. Okay, so those are the new flamers. The new flyers. Been getting a lot of flack on them, and I'll explain why when we get to their entry. But I just wanted to show those off. The models are enormous. I have gotten a chance to play with the Hive Crone, and I have not played with the Harpy yet. I like the Hive Crone, and I'll explain a little more when I get to it. It's one of the few new units I've actually gotten a chance to play. Yeah, he's going to stand right here beside us for the whole thing, because I don't really have a spot to put him right now. Anyway, okay, so let's go ahead and jump in. We're going to go out of order here, but since I talked about these, let's go ahead and jump to the flyers first, okay? So let's do the Harpy first. Harpy's 135 points now, so he's dropped down. He's weapon skill and ballistic skill 3. Strength and toughness is only 5. So it's only toughness 5 with 5 wounds. Initiative 5, so he's got a bunch of 5s. Strength, 3 attacks with leadership 10 and a 4-up save. So what does that mean? Well, among everything else, that means that a quad gun, which is the worst thing that you can come up against with these guys, a quad gun is going to wound him on a 2+ and is going to ignore his armor save. A quad gun manned with someone ballistic skill 4 is usually going to hit with 3, if not all 4 of the attacks, usually all 4, and is going to wound with 3, if not all 4 of them, and he's going to be down to 1 wound. And God help you, you're going to fail that grounding test, you're going to smash on the ground, you're going to take your last wound, and he's dead to a quad gun. So that's a big thing, and the Hive Crone and the Harpy both share this weakness. Yeah, you can, the best thing you can do is kill whoever's manning that quad gun quick. Because it's by far your biggest threat, unless someone's running Stronghold Assault and they have those quad-linked Icarus las cannons. But regardless, it's just a glaring thing. It's the first thing that popped out at me when I looked at these flyers was, oh crap, quad guns are going to ruin them. But what are you going to do? So, 135 points. They come with a twin-linked Stranglethorn cannon by default, Scything Talons, and Spore Mine Cysts. Now, this segues us right into the new Spore Mine stuff. I was going to talk about the Spore Mines more with Biovores, but we'll go ahead and talk about them now. The Spore Mine Cysts are Strength 4, AP 4, Assault 1, Barrage, Large Blast with Spore Bomb and Spore Burst ability. Spore Bomb, basically, it's got a lot of description. It's basically just instead of a Vector Strike, they're used during the movement phase. A Harpy can fire its Spore Mine Cyst once in each of its movement phase. If it does so, it counts as having fired 1 weapon in the following shooting phase. However, any other weapons it fires may choose a different target. To fire a Spore Mine Cyst, you pick one of the things you moved over, center the blast. If it scatters all, you scatter it d6 inches after you center the large blast. Units under it take hits equal to the models partially under the blast. Like normal blasts. Okay, but it also has Spore Burst, which means if it doesn't hit anything, if it scatters out in the open, you spawn D3 Spore Mines in one cluster. So, it's pretty handy. The way I reread that, I thought it was in place of Vector Striking, but I guess you could use that and Vector Strike something, but then you're not firing the cannon, and that's... If you're taking Harpies, you're going to want to fire the cannon, at least, you want to fire it. Okay, so let's jump into Spore Mines here. You know what? We'll talk about Spore Mines when we get to their unit entry because they're also in fast attack. So that's the Harpy's equipment. So what else does Harpy got going for it? Well, it's a flying monstrous creature, obviously. It can be grounded. There were some rumors that it couldn't be, but it can be. It has Fearless, Instinctive Behavior, Hunt, and Sonic Screech. And Sonic Screech is, if it charges, the turn it charges, all enemy models in the same combat suffer -5 to their initiative. So, it's pretty nice. So I like the Harpy as an assist. He's also only 135 points. His options include switching out the Stranglethorn cannons for twin-linked heavy venom cannons for 5 points, so he costs 140. I like the heavy venom cannon quite a bit. Although the Stranglethorn cannon could be used because of its pinning, could be pretty handy, but the venom cannon, or the heavy venom cannon, gives you some pretty mobile tank, a few mobile anti-tank shots, so that's not bad. He can also take Stinger Salvo for 10 points or Cluster Spines for 15 points. Those are the same ones that the Terpagon can take. All in all, I'm not going to run them because you're going to be using the Spore Mines and the cannon every turn, so you're never going to fire those anyway. And he can take items from the Biomorph list. So you can give him regen. I don't know that I would. You're just making something that's biggest benefit is how cheap it is for a flying monstrous creature. You're hurting it by making it more expensive. So I'd say just go with the heavy venom cannon or just leave it normal and be happy at 135. Okay. Now, the one everyone kind of went a little crazy over, and all the lists I'm seeing around, like all the theory lists that I don't think people played yet, are running 3 of them. Hive Crones. The stat line is identical to the Harpy, but it's 155 points, so it's 20 points more base. Now, it has the stupidest weapon in the world, name-wise. It has the Drool Cannon. Really? They couldn't come up with anything better than Drool Cannon. Anyway, it's a template weapon, Strength 4, AP 4, Assault 1. Yeah, I didn't miss anything. It's not Torrent. On a flying monstrous creature. I understand they didn't want to duplicate the Helldrake and the brokenness that is the Bale Flamer. But really? You're going to give me a flying monstrous creature and not give me a Torrent weapon. Doesn't have to be AP3, but you're not going to give me a Torrent weapon. My scariest opponent is Tau, so give me an AP4 Flamer, that's fine. But not Torrent, really? Now, I thought in the battle report in this month's White Dwarf, I could have sworn they talked about using it as a Torrent, but maybe they didn't. Maybe I imagined that. But anyway, they also have 4 Tentaclids, which are one-shot missiles. They're Strength 5, AP 5, Haywire missiles that are twin-linked if flying at a zooming flyer or swooping monstrous creature. So, they're not bad, and they're free. And then, of course, he's got Scything Talons. Then he has Fearless, Instinctive Behavior, Feed, and Raking Strike. And what Raking Strike is just that his Vector Strikes are Strength 8. So, I really wish they would have given him AP value. That would have made that Harpy amazing. But he also has the exact same options. Stinger Salvo for 10 points, Cluster Spines for 15 points, and anything from the Biomorph. Again, leave him stock, 155 points. I'm going to run 1 Crone and 1 Harpy, at least for the foreseeable future, to just test. But that's what I'm looking at right now. Okay, so let's head. We're going to just go down and then we'll swoop back up to the beginning. Spore Mine Clusters. 15 points for 3 of them, for 3 Spore Mines. You can include up to 3 more for 5 points a model. They have no weapon or ballistic skill, no attacks, and no save, and they have 1 strength, toughness, wounds, initiative, and leadership. Okay, they have Deep Strike, Fearless, and then they have Floating Death and Living Bomb. Floating Death just says that now they're not random movement anymore. Spore Mines move 3 inches in the movement phase. They can run or charge, and when they do, they move half the distance rolled. They're never slowed by difficult terrain and make dangerous like normal. Okay, they don't attack. If they get into melee, then at initiative step 10, the entire cluster detonates. You center the large blast over any one of the unit's Spore Mines. Every unit, friend or foe, under the blast suffers a number of attacks equal to the number of mines in the under the blast marker. Sorry, not number of mines, number of models. And then the strength is 4 plus an additional 1 for every other Spore Mine. So if you have a group of 3, then it's strength 6 and they're AP 4, and they ignore cover. So pretty handy. And Living Bomb just says, and this I like, Living Bombs are not scoring non-denial units. They do not award victory points when destroyed, and wounds suffered do not count in close combat as combat res. So that's cool. So yeah, so Spore Mines, nothing. You're gonna get them for free with the Harpy if you scatter. Biovores and Heavy, you're gonna get free ones, and you can take a squad of them. If you're sitting there with 20 points in a flying attack slot open, go ahead and take 4 Spore Mines. You know, the only thing is I'm not seeing anything about in the old look they can deep strike on top of people. I don't know that they can do that anymore. I think they have to come down and charge or assault. They don't detonate when they get shot anymore. So if someone just shoots the whole squad, they won't die. But then they delegated an entire unit of shooting to kill Spore Mines. So not a big loss. The other fun thing about them is if you get them from one of the spore cluster, one of the guns that misses, it doesn't say they can't charge that turn. So that you can shoot them out, you miss, then they can charge in. So actually, in a way, you kind of want to scatter just enough that you can spawn them and then run them in, because or charge them in, because if they get more than one mine, then the explosion will be bigger. But they could easily overwatch them to death. But anyway, yeah, just something fun. Okay, so jumping back around, we got a couple more choices. Tyranid Strikes. No, I wanted to like them, but I'll explain. They're 90 points a piece. They're exact same price as Warriors, and they're just winged Warriors. They have the exact same profile, except they are 5-up armor save instead of a 4-up. So the thing that makes Warriors really bad, being that they're strength 4 or toughness 4 models with a 4-up armor save, is worse. They're a toughness 4 model with a 5-up armor save. It's terrible. They come with a Devourer and Siphon Talons, Shadow on the Warp, Synapse, and very bulky now. So they are very fast Synapse. So I can't fault them on that. But if they were 4-up armor save and regular Warriors were 3, that'd be perfect, but they're not. So we're not going to dream. You can take up to 6 additional strikes, 30 points a model. They can take, one model can take an item from the basic bio cannon, so you can have a mobile Venom cannon or a Barb Strangler. And any model may take any items from the basic biomorph and melee bioweapon, or basic bioweapon and melee bioweapon list. So again, just like the Warriors, they don't have to be equipped the same. The entire unit can take the following biomorphs: Adrenal Glands at 4 points, Toxin Sacs at 3 points, and Flesh Hooks at 4. So Harpies, or the Shrikes, are just toughness 4, 5-up armor. They're too expensive for what they do, in my opinion. They're jump infantry, but I don't know. Maybe they work. For me, they're not. If you could take a Winged Prime, maybe, but you can't. And even then, it'd be really pushing it. But if you need fast Synapse and for some reason you have open fast attack slots, it's always an option, regardless of how good or bad it might be. Okay, so Raveners. Raveners I don't like too much. I have a problem with the Tyranid Codex for pretty much everything on a 40mm base. Now that Hive Guard and Tyrant Guard are on 50s, I can say that. Well, Biovores. I don't know what my Biovores are on 40 mils because they're older. I think the new ones, I don't know what size the base the new ones are on, but anyway. Or the 5th edition one, that's the new one. I have 3rd edition, or 4th edition ones. Anyway, the Ravener Broods are 90 points apiece for 3 of them, just like Tyranid Shrikes. They're beasts, though, instead of jump infantry. Their profile, though, is pretty similar. It's the only difference between them and a Tyranid Warrior is their initiative is 1 higher, and they have 4 less leadership, and they have a 5-up save. So, same problem as the Shrikes. It's a 5-up save sucks on something that's 30 points a model. They come with 2 pairs of Siphon Talons, so yippee. Don't get rerolls, but they are weapon skill 5, so hitting on 3s on a lot of things. They have Deep Strike, Instinctive Behavior Feed, so they'll eat each other, and very bulky. You can include up to 6 additional Raveners at 30 points apiece. Any Ravener may exchange 1 pair of its Siphon Talons for a pair of Rending Claws for 5 points. And they can take Spine Fists at 3 points, Devourers at 5, and Death Spitters at 10. Now, in the last book, it was a Thorax weapon, but now it's a normal weapon. It replaces... oh, no, it doesn't. It doesn't replace... So I guess it is still mounted in the chest. Okay, so they don't lose an attack. But I thought it was weird that they couldn't take Adrenal Glands or Toxin Sacs or Flesh Hooks. It just seems like they should be able to, but it's not in here, so what you gotta do. Now, the thing that made me really happy, the Red Terror is back. If you played Tyranids for a while, you'll know that they had in the 3rd edition and even the 4th edition book, the only special characters they had were Old One-Eye and the Red Terror. So they're back. after Red Terror sat out for an edition. And actually, was he even in the 4th edition book? I'd have to dig my 4th edition book out. I don't even remember. I know he's in the 3rd, because in the 3rd edition book you could only take him in an army that was 1,500 points or more. But anyway, so the Red Terror, he is weapon skill 6, ballistic skill 3, strength and toughness 5, 3 wounds, initiative 5, 4 attacks, 8 leadership with a 4-up save, and he's a character beast. Okay? He's unique. You can only have one of them, obviously. He's got 2 pairs of Scything Talons and the Prehensile Pincer, which we've been over before, but I'll go ahead and remind you. It is strength 6, AP 5 melee weapon. Then he has Deep Strike and Instinctive Behavior Feed, and very bulky, and he has Swallow Whole. And the way Swallow Whole works is if, hang on, his entry is, I want to make sure I read it exactly, but if he hits with 4 or more of his melee attacks, if he hits with at least 4 of his close combat attacks in a single phase, excluding the pincer attack, of course, because they don't count for anything, you can nominate a single enemy infantry, jump infantry, or jetpack infantry model in base contact with the Red Terror. So what you do is you don't roll any wound rolls. You just nominate the model. They don't get armor save, so they either get their invulnerable save or they get removed as a casualty. You don't have to decide if you're going to try and swallow before you roll. It's just if you roll 4 hits, you nominate a model, you get the option, and then bye-bye. Eat him. Very bulky and extremely bulky models can't be picked, but Terminators can. So you can eat Terminators. But yeah, so that's that. That's the Red Terror. Now, unfortunately, the Red Terror costs 85 points. One Ravener Brood may include the Red Terror as for 85 points. Now, it doesn't upgrade a Ravener already, so he's not an 85-point model with a 30-point upgrade. He's essentially a 55-point upgrade to a Ravener that you're going to buy. So he's not bad. If you're running Raveners, I'd definitely take one, or definitely take him for fun, if nothing else. It'd be pretty cool to eat all those annoying characters that don't have an invulnerable save. Just, delicious. Anyway, okay, so we got looks like 2 more options. And this one will be quick. Sky Slasher Swarms. They're winged rippers. No, thank you. They're 54 points a model. Or, not a model, sorry. 54 points for 3, 18 points a model. So, compared to rippers, I think they have the exact same profile. Yeah. They're the exact same profile as rippers. Yeah. Exact same profile as rippers, but they're jump infantry. Fearless, they have the swarm roll, instinctive behavior feed, of course. You can increase, you can get tongue-tied there. You can add 6 additional Sky Slashers for 18 points per base. The unit can take Spine Fist for 4 points, and it can take Toxin for 4 and Adrenal Glands for 5. Nope. Moving along. That's all I'm going to say about anything that's a ripper. They could have buffed rippers and kept the Parasite in, and I might take them. But they removed Parasite, and they made rippers more expensive. I'm never taking them. And like I said, I've got tons of them. I don't have any Sky Slashers, though, thankfully, because they're expensive and from Forge World. Okay, same thing with the Tyranid Strikes. I've never converted any, and I didn't want to buy the Forge World wings, because I think they're like 20-something bucks for 3. No. Thanks, though. Okay. The last fast tech choice is Gargoyles. Now, Gargoyles have been nerfed. They're 60 points for 10, so 6 points a model. Gaunt profile, exactly the same as a Termagant, including their initiative 4. They have Flesh Borers and Blinding Venom. Blinding Venom now no longer, it used to be if you got a 6 to hit, it was an auto wound. You didn't have to roll a wound. Now Blinding Venom is you can trade in all of your attacks with a model. Each model can get rid of all of its attacks to get a strength 3. Was it strength? I think it's a strength 3 poison attack. I think, yeah, strength 3 blind or poison 6+ with blind. So now I read the rule book, and on blind it just says that when a unit is hit, a unit or model is hit with an attack or weapon that has blind, they immediately make the test. Or be reduced to, or it's an initiative test, right? Yeah. Or immediately be reduced to weapon skill and ballistic skill 1. So, my question here is if you get 30 gargoyles into somebody's combat, and You hit with 30. You get through with 30 of them somehow, or 15. Do they make 15 blind tests? Because they're sure bound to fail one of those, right? But it doesn't say per phase or anything. So that needs an FAQ. I don't know. I don't think there's been any weapons with blind that were more than like the warp talons come down and it's just bow. You're affected by blind. This is theoretically 30 gargoyles hitting with blind or swinging with blind. Definitely not hitting with it with a weapon skill 3. Anyway, let me know what you think. That needs an FAQ. So you can add up to 20 additional gargoyles, 6 points per model, and they can take adrenal glands for 2 points, toxin sacs for 2 points. So yeah, so those got more expensive. They're the same point for the gargoyle, but the adrenal glands and toxin sacs both went up a point. So that sucks. And I've got, I think, 30 gargoyles, the plastic ones. I have a few pewter ones floating around, but mostly have the plastic ones. I'd like to run them. I need to know on that blind thing, because that could theoretically be really good. But I don't know. The book's not really clear. Maybe it's in the regular book FAQ. I haven't seen it, though. So I'll have to look that up. Okay. So that'll do it for the 5th episode. So we have one more for heavy support and kind of a general overview. And, yeah. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next episode.